welcome to our show, Welcome to SCAN. I'm Pat Bohse, the Executive Director of SCAN, which stands for Social Community Activities Network. SCAN provides active adults exciting social activities, information, and referral services in both Monmouth and Ocean County. Our purpose is to promote socialization, education, and also technology. And so we have a wonderful guest with us today, Jeremy Grunin, President of the Grunin Foundation, and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited. It took us a while for us to pull this one off.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it a few times and we weren't able to get our calendars together.
True.
But here we are.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about the foundation, the history of the foundation, and we'll take it from there.
Sure. The J. and Linda Grunin Foundation is a proactive 501c3 grant-making foundation. Proactive means that we don't have a grant application process, but rather we are very active in the communities here at the Jersey Shore, and when we see a program or something that we're really interested in investing in, we'll go and have that conversation. So we are focused on the arts, education, and healthcare, but it all really falls under the umbrella of economic development, right? Things that we could do to improve the economy here in Monmouth and Ocean County.
So again, I know that you've been very active in Ocean County
Yes.
for many, many years, and you're recently coming to Monmouth?
Yes, so we really the foundation really became active about 4 years ago, and initially we were only focused on Toms River, right? And so we were really acting on some level in a silo. And so our thought was that if we could make major impact in Toms River, then that would radiate throughout all of Ocean County. But it became clear to us as time went on that really the Jersey Shore and even Toms River was more than just Toms River, right? There's so many great things happening here in Monmouth County and around the rest of the shore that to look at just one area as kind of macro as Toms River was really limiting us. So over the last, I would say, really year or so, we've really started to take a more of an active role in Monmouth County as well, and again, looking at the Jersey Shore more holistically and what we can do to create partnerships and collaboration throughout the Jersey Shore.
So we'll talk a little more about partnerships and collaborations because it's huge and it's big. And being a consultant in the not-for-profit business for the last 25 years, I know that that's how the business is run or should be run. So we'll get into that. Just go back a little bit about the foundation and how did it start? I mean, I know for the last 4 years, but how did it start? I think it was with your mom and
Absolutely.
dad.
So my parents, J. and Linda Grunin, they were attorneys in Toms River since like 1970, 71. Did very well. Ocean County was the fastest growing county in the country in the mid-'80s. My parents were attorneys during that time. They did extremely well. They were able to take the vast majority of their earnings and put it back into the stock market, which, as you may or may not know, over the last 35 years has been a pretty good investment. And so, the reality is that Ocean County was extremely, extremely good to our family. My parents had always had the vision that they wanted to give back in a big way, and that's how they kind of came up with, we're going to do this foundation. And I came home 4 years ago after my mom became ill and my dad needed some additional support. I came back home after being away for 20 years, and really my focus was on how we bring the foundation to life. And so he and I really kind of, put together our game plan of what we wanted to do, mostly through the help of our executive director, Tara Cunningham, who we brought on board early on. And so now over the last few years, I think we've really grown the organization to be, I would consider a major player, certainly at the Jersey Shore, and I would say more so really throughout New Jersey now.
Wonderful. I mean, I know that you're a really big supporter of community health and a lot of programs in Ocean County, and also you're on several boards of directors that we'll talk about because that's always interesting and challenging in the same respect. And we do have a lot of mutual friends in all of those places. So with that said, the foundation has this value of collaboration, and so you've started a couple of collaboratives in Ocean, or spearheaded or oversee or help develop. What are they and how are they going?
So we are, first of all, we are big believers in anything that we invest in. We're not about just handing over a check, taking a picture with a big check next to it, and then walking away and saying, go get them, you're going to be fine. Any organization that we invest in a big way, we want to take an active role in. Much as an activist investor would take a large role in a company that they own stock
Absolutely.
in, right? So we do the same things, and so through all of those partnerships that we've built, it becomes very important for us to collaborate and to bring groups together to create larger impact. Because at the end of the day, this is all about how you can positively impact folks at the Jersey Shore in a bigger way. So one of the major collaboratives, for example, that we're working on right now is what's called the Toms River Coalition, the Health Initiative Coalition. It's through a Robert Wood Johnson grant.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Wood Johnson gives a few grants out every year to communities throughout New Jersey to make an impact on health, right? We helped with the grant process in partnership with the YMCA, Hope Sheds Light, which is a local opiate fighting organization, the Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey, a number of different partners. And we formed this coalition, applied for the grant, got the grant, and now it's about kind of creating these listening sessions throughout Toms River to understand what are the biggest health needs throughout the town, right? And once we've identified that, we can then go ahead and start to figure out ways that we can best address them, right? It's a partnership with the county, with the township, with the local. We're very fortunate here at the Shore because we have both Meridian Hackensack and we have Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas. So we have two of the the hugest health systems around in partnership with us. We have a great community college at OCC, number of different folks to partner and to figure out what are our issues and how can we best address them. And again, no issues are more easily tackled, right, when you have more buy-in, more folks at the table, and you're really gaining consensus on the best way to deal with issues.
And I agree with that 1,000%. Caregivers, volunteers of Central Jersey is now on our board of directors, and I'm excited about that because we all have a new initiative in regards to developing some TV shows for and about caregivers.
Right.
And so the executive director was here today, and she did a screen test to see how she did, and we'll be going forth with that. But she told me about the initiative, and she invited me to one of the meetings.
Great.
So we will come because we are now, SCAN is going into Ocean County by popular demand, which is great. And we'll be doing some lunch and learns and a brain health fair, which we kind of own now. So we're known to keep those brains healthy in a variety of ways. So we're excited about that. So with that said, in regards to like United Way, and I know that you're active with the food bank.
Yes.
And so how is that working?
So I'm the chairman of the United Way of Monmouth and Ocean County, newly merged. And so, we are actually in the midst of a strategic plan right now that we will be kind of rolling out the results of at the end of the summer as we head into September, where we kind of rebrand the United Way to some extent and really kind of identify what are our kind of stake in the ground issues that we want to be part of. I am on the board of the Monmouth Ocean Food Bank. The food bank recently opened as part of the in concert with the John Bon Jovi Soul Kitchen and the People's Pantry. They opened the Beach Center, right, in Toms River. I don't know why I always struggle with that. Opened the Beach Center in Toms River. So they've become a major impact player in dealing with food insecurity, which is certainly an economic issue. And so we made an investment there, and we also sit on their board because they are really on the cutting edge of fighting this issue. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, again, Carlos Rodriguez, who's the executive director, I mean, he brings a whole new perspective to the whole concept of food bank.
Right.
I mean, when I first met him, he talked about, so there's two roles here, food, which is keeping people fed and nutritious food, but the bank was the financial piece,
Right.
which I think is a whole new concept.
Yeah.
And wonderful.
Well, and I think that's the point is, and not to take a food analogy, but it's the old thing of if you want to give a man a fish, he eats today. If you teach a man to fish, he eats forever.
Absolutely.
And so the food bank is a big believer in that through programs that help folks actually do their taxes and get tax refunds that they didn't know they would get. That helps them get government assistance. That actually offers training programs for them to actually become more gainfully employed. So it's really about fighting food insecurity through financial stability, which is a big deal.
So you'll be happy to know that we were helpful in getting them a location in the Monmouth Mall, which is our home, upstairs. So they have a store that they're doing the VITA program.
Right.
And then we're using their culinary students for our Lunch and Learns in Ocean County, they're providing the lunch.
Great.
So again, the whole piece of back to collaboration is just so important.
Right. Well, and to your point, not to interrupt you, but the collaboration piece also, the collaboration piece with the food bank is also there with the United Way and with Meridian, because they also have a location in the Freehold Mall that's an economic support and economic success center. So all kind of it's again, when everybody's working together, so much more impactful.
Absolutely, and we're really excited. Though in regards to, again, your participation, I mean, you know as well as I in this not-for-profit world and in the world of giving, there's so many, sometimes obstacles in regards to the process and the application and, not making up what you need. You know what you need, but having someone to be supportive in regards to the fundamentals. I mean, it takes a lot to keep an organization up and running, not just providing those programs.
I'm also the chairman of the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce. So, we also want to bring the business folks in from a support standpoint. I also sit on the board of the Council of New Jersey Grant Makers for the state. So again, this is about supporting these great organizations. And so you're right. I mean, but we look at it like, we are very involved in local business. We're involved in real estate. We're involved in a number of other ventures with smaller businesses that we invest in. And I think it's a holistic approach of saying, listen, we need for-profit to partner with not-for-profit, right? So that we can make a difference.
And we need not-for-profits to understand that they really are running a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're a 501c3, and in my world, that means I can ask anybody for anything at any time, and they can say yes or no. But it's a business. I mean, there's no difference about running this not-for-profit or running a for-profit.
Right. Though that's been a difficult pill for folks to understand, because there's always been a stigma. There's a great example of, I guess the American Red Cross is an example. There was a big deal because the CEO of the American Red Cross was making, over $1 million salary or whatever it was, which is said you're not allowed to do that, right? But yet the coach of USC football, right, can make $7 million a year, and nobody says a thing, right? Also working for a state institution. One of them is trying to actually like change people's lives, like solve critical issues around health and wellness and around, making us a better society. And one is trying to win football games. And I'm a football fan.
Got it.
But why are we we get so caught up with nonprofits around the fact that everybody has to live like a pauper in order to give back to the world, and that's ridiculous.
So this is a great conversation. We're going to take a quick break and come back to finish it. We'll be back in a minute with Jeremy Grunin.
So, if you're over 65, like me,
and active and fairly healthy,
being active and healthy alone will not protect you.
Remember, the immune system weakens with age.
And if you're over 65, ask your doctor about your vaccination options.
we want you to be healthy and active.
Welcome back. My name is Pat Bohse, the Executive Director of SCAN, and I have this fabulous guest with me today, Jeremy Grunin, who is the President of the Grunin Foundation, and we have been talking about everything. So we will continue to do that. In regards to you, I had the pleasure of being on one of your radio shows, and I know that you have a new show. When is it? What do you talk about, or what don't you talk about? And let's take it from there.
Okay. So I did a radio show on WOBM AM last year. And it was funny. It started from a conversation I had with somebody at the radio station. We had done a lot of advertising, and I'd been on Sean and Sue's morning show on WOBM a number of times, and we had a good rapport, went really well. And I said to them, I said, in passing, I said, I would really I think I should do a radio show for you guys, like, once a month, right? A couple hours or an hour, and we'll talk about Ocean County topics or whatever you want, and it'll be fine. You know what? They said, that's a great idea. So they come back to me 2 days later and they said, you know what, we have it for you. You can have Saturdays, 10 a.m. to noon, right? And you can talk about whatever you want, and it's only going to cost you $10,000 a month. And I said, no, I think you're confused. I wasn't looking to pay for a show. I'm going to bring you content, et cetera, et cetera. So about a month later, they came back to me and said, Bob Levy is looking to go into semi-retirement. We have a morning slot open for you. And so I did that for a year from 5:30 to 8 a.m. Right, we would talk about, specific topics, and we had nonprofits on, local businesses on, policymakers, you name it, anybody who was remotely interesting, we had them on, and we would learn about what was happening, in Ocean County. I will tell you that year was very difficult on me.
Oh, I'm sure.
4 a.m. is early to wake up. And I do, as we've talked about, I kind of have a full-time job, so I do other things. So it became just impossible for me to do. But what they did ask me to do is to work with Bob Levy, who was in semi-retirement, on Sunday mornings on WOBM FM 92.7 and WOBM AM, which is now called Beach Radio, 1160 and 1310. So I'm on with him from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Sunday, and it's a pure call-in show, right? Unscreened, right? People call in, and they talk about what they want to talk about. And as you can imagine, in today's political climate, it is very interesting.
I'm sure.
So, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the